Hey guys, I've been really wanting to get this figure for a long time now, so I finally got it. And it is the Marvel Select Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man figure. It comes with many accessories, and it looks awesome so far just from looking at the packaging. But before I open it, we'll just take a quick look at the packaging. So, we already have the Marvel Select logo up there in the corner. Then it says Spider-Man Special Collector's Edition action figure. Then we have the Spider-Man 2 movie logo / title. We have a cool picture of Spidey there. Then we have Spidey there. It says ages 8 and up the top. And there's a little warning label down there, which you can't really see from this angle, but it's there. And the side of the box looks pretty cool. It is just a picture of Spidey. And I really like it. It looks pretty cool. Even the background looks good. And the back has the Amazing Spider-Man 2 title. Picture of Spidey. It says Marvel Select Spidey again. There's a little blurb there. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like to read it. And then there's just a couple of details down the bottom. And there's nothing up at the top of the box or the bottom. Nothing on this side either. And it's just the figure. So let's open it up. And here is the figure. I've had a bit of a play with it. Looked at the articulation and how it looks and that. And it looks pretty good. Few tiny issues, I guess, but besides that, it's a pretty good figure overall. And before I really get into the figure, I'm just going to talk about the accessories. So you do come with a nozzle for a fire hose, which we see within the Times Square fight scene in the movie. It also comes with his fireman hat that he wears for that short amount of time. And it's pretty cool, and it does fit on his head pretty well when you do put it on him, which I like. You get 2 strands of webbing. They're pretty long, and we have these clips here on the end of both of them. They can connect and basically just make one really long one. So it's sort of useless, I guess. You wouldn't really use it, I guess, but I guess some people will. But personally, I'm not going to use it like that when I display my figure. And you get I think 5 sets of hands. First we have the wall crawling hands, which have pretty good articulation. As you can see, they bend like that, the joint, so you can put them up. So it looks a bit more realistic when you making him look like he's crawling. You have, I don't really know what to call them, but I know they're pretty weird ones. They're fists, but his thumbs are like up a bit, as if he's like about to do a thumbs up or something. They're a bit odd. Then you have just normal fists, which look pretty good. Yeah, I like them. And last but not least, you have, actually you have an other fist, but it comes with a hand that holds a web. And I don't know, well, you have a pair of fists that can hold the webbing, crawling hands, weird hands, and then you have the hands that are on the figure right now, which are the web shooting hands. They come with this webbing, which you can actually just take out and put it back in when you want. I'm personally going to keep it in because I think it looks better that way. Okay, now with the figure, before I get into articulation, I'm going to talk a bit about the paintwork and just details on the figure. It's mostly good. There are only just a couple of issues with the figure. The first issue I'd like to point out is with this shoulder. With this shoulder, there's a bit of smudge of blue right there, where it should just be all red, and the red slightly goes on the blue area as well. There's a bit of this weird darker greyish colour in his eye, in his right eye. I think that's it. I don't know. This line here is a bit thicker than others, but that's just a tiny little problem, which is something you really shouldn't complain about. It doesn't really bother me, but it is there. So it's really just the shoulder and the eye problem, but besides all the problems, the rest is pretty good. Like some webbing doesn't go exactly on the lines or anything. Like you can see there, that line just sort of stops randomly. But besides that, it looks all pretty good with the webbing. The spider on his chest looks good, and spider on his back looks good as well. And the one on his back is much longer than the one on his chest, as it should be. Yeah, like I said, the lines all look pretty good. The the blue has its texture, which you can sort of see, depending on the lighting. You can see it a bit there because there's more light there. But you can't really feel it that well. You can barely feel it actually when you're touching it. And so I guess I like that. It's pretty cool. My only problem with the figure, like just how it looks in general, are the eyes. I know the eyes look pretty comic-y in the movie, but for this figure, I guess it doesn't work for me that well. Like, I still like the figure, but if I'm comparing it to the movie, these ones look just a bit too cartoony than they should. Like, that's just my opinion. But they, just in general, I like the eyes and the whole figure in general. But, yeah, so articulation. Basically, the head only turns to the side a bit. I think, yeah, you can go all around, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't go up much. It actually doesn't. It goes down a bit and just faces forward. He doesn't have an ab crunch or whatever you call it. Only a tiny, tiny bit. His arms go all the way that far up. Sorry, okay, it goes that far up. Down. You can turn it all the way around. The arm does bend fairly well and turns all the way around. And depending on which hand you have in there, this one moves a bit. But I think this hand isn't meant to move that. I think it's just a bit loose because of the sizing or something. But depending on what hand you have, you can either move it to the side or forward and back. And it depends on what hand you have in your character. He does turn around, which is pretty good. I do like that. I did want that on the figure, so that's pretty good. Your figure, so the legs go all the way around. They go, they can go up that far-ish. They go that's how far back is basically, not really far back at all, really. Oh, here we go. The knees, yeah, I think it's a double jointed knee. I think that's what it's called, not too sure. So that's pretty good, the knees. The feet are pretty good, I guess. That's with it bent all the way back. It does go forward more, so it's just normal flat, and it only does go up a tiny bit more, and it has a pretty good ankle pivot, this figure. Yeah, it's pretty good, the ankle pivot. That's a very good thing with this figure, and it does help when you're trying to pose Spidey in some cool Spider-Man poses. That is all for the articulation, and overall it's a really cool figure. I don't know why, but this left leg it's a bit loose. Like, if you put it up, it falls down a bit. Like, not then, but sometimes it does fall down a bit. It depends how you pose it, and it doesn't go that up as high as the right leg. But I think that's just my figure, and like the little paint job on his shoulder and his eye. I know I've seen other reviews on YouTube, and it's all pretty much only my figure, unless other people have. There's sort of tiny problems with the painting, and just on the lines, like the webbing. But yeah, I don't really expect it to be that perfect. The sculpt looks pretty good. And yeah, I really do like this figure. It's one of my first Marvel Select figures, and I want to get the figure from the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, and if I can, I'll get the Winter Soldier, Captain America, and Iron Man 3 Mark 42 Iron Man. And I do want to get some more Marvel Select figures, but this is my first one, so it's pretty exciting and it's pretty cool, and Spider-Man is my favourite superhero. Like, he's been my favourite for years and years. So yeah, it's a pretty good figure. I do recommend it for any fans. And I've heard a lot of people say this online, but I do agree with them that you can use this figure as your normal Spidey figure, even if you're looking for a comic-y one, because this figure is basically just a comic Spidey, except for like the logo on his back is a bit longer. But besides that, it really does look like it's straight out of the comics, like it does in the movie. So overall, it's a fantastic figure. I do recommend it. And please stay tuned for some pictures I took of the figure with some of the cool poses I was able to do with it. Hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be making more reviews with any other figures I get. And I will be going to the 17-minute preview of Guardians of the Galaxy later today. And I'll be posting a review tomorrow as soon as I possibly can. So stick around for that. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.